I won't just leave this light on 24/7. That's probably a smart thing anyway. And now I'm not skewing the average so that we're paying more in general.
Yeah, that's my weakness actually. Is light. The closet light is probably like my Achilles heel. I will leave that
always
on.
Turn it off, Mike. Just make sure you turn it off.
I
Just
can't.
be like, did I turn that off? And check.
I can't do it, dude. I can't. It's fucking terrible. And like, I'll come home after being out all day and I'm like, fuck, a fucking light.
I left the stove on again. Damn it.
It warms up the house better.
That's what Joseph would say when we were at the greenhouse.
No, I don't want this gas oven open while I'm sleeping at night.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying.
I slept for fucking 78 hours straight.
No, it's...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I woke up a few times.
He woke up.
Yeah, but I didn't know where I was a lot of the time. It was the best sleep I ever had.
All right, so you guys ready?
Yes.
Awesome. So I figured, actually, let me bring up that story that you had because I thought that was a cool story, Dustin.
Which?
The the radio burst from space.
Oh yeah.
I was reading into that last night, so I'm gonna bring that up. All right, cool. So we're recording here. Now I'm gonna go here. There you are. And go. Nice. Yeah, this one I'm really excited about it. So I want to start off. There's something that Dustin you shared last night with us because you thought it'd be pretty cool. Now it always I feel like when it comes to any UFO sightings or extraterrestrial, it's something just to keep your mind occupied. When we go through, stuff like this, like quarantine or like without a job, basically. And it's just something to keep your mind going. And I thought this was really cool. And of course, the first movie I thought of was Contact. I don't know. Mason, have you seen Contact, the Jodie Foster?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm not big into aliens or sci-fi.
Gotcha. Well
so
it's because I'm scared of the truth.
Wake up.
Yeah. You're being such a sheeple, Mason. Chase had to watch that movie for a class. So I'd never seen it, and Bree had, and Chase and I hadn't. So she was like, you guys both need to watch this movie.
It's definitely important. So
we did. And I'll tell you what, it's a solid movie. I mean, it's not Mason. It's not just like it's not like an aliens, it's not like a horror movie. It's not like what's going to happen kind of thing. It's more of the premise there. It's they find a radio. It wasn't a radio, but it's some sort of a message. And hey, how about that? It turns out that there are aliens, and then it just kind of progresses from there.
And they're contacting us through the eons.
Right. What's the name of the movie?
Hang on. We're able to translate it. Surely they'll make contact with us, and they'll want to explore our human ways and our secrets. Let's see. Turn it up. Your cunts. Your cunts. Your cunts. Your cunts.
So no, but what I really liked about that movie, that was a really good Jodie Foster film. I think whenever we were talking about female actors,
pretty good too.
There's only good Jodie Foster movies.
Excuse me, apologies. I can only think of like 3. But anyways, so with Jodie Foster, I really liked her in that because her job basically is just to listen to what transmissions from space, like that is her main thing. And they're running out of funding. And so she just hears a consistent beat coming from space. And so what it turned out to be is like math. It's all numbers. It's whatever. And so the universal form of communication is mathematics. And so that's basically how they were communicating with the other side. So when you sent this, this article yesterday, the mysterious radio burst that they heard in space, I believe it was not even that long ago. Yeah, like half a year ago, came back right on schedule. Yep. And so they were like, wow, so this is something that's consistently happening, and it's every 157 days.
Oh, okay. I'm not to be nitpicky. The one I read said 162 days. I don't, like I said, I'm not trying to. I just don't.
I heard 161. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
fight you guys.
So actually, okay. So the other part,
Well,
because
we
there's
just
two.
so that nobody knows anything. This is just a baloney conspiracy theory now.
And
Yes.
also, time's not real, so take that.
Also, they've proven that gravity actually affects time in a certain way. So time is relative based on gravity, which
Right.
I can't ever, and I will never be able. I know Interstellar kind of plays with that a little bit. It's more fictitious than anything, but like it tries to use that theory in the film as well. But I can never wrap my mind around how gravity affects time. So basically, so they were saying every 157 days, and it said it came back on schedule, and it was 161, give or take 5 days, is what it says. Basically, is where it's at. So it could be a gravity thing, like this sound wave that's bouncing off and coming back. They think it might have to do with planetary orbits interfering with each other, and that's what you're actually hearing. Asteroids, stuff like that. But this could be what they went through in Robert Zemeckis' film Contact. This could be the first actual contact that we're getting from space. And what they think about it is that they believe it's coming from light years away. Like it was something outrageous that they thought, and like billions of light years. And it's like, wow, so how fast is that traveling, just that noise? And are they, if it is something that's kind of like, ET-ish, are they just kind of like sending out a signal and seeing if anybody actually picks it up?
It's
That's
possible.
shit like that's kind of cool.
It's
What if we're
so what
expecting-
I heard about it was that it was a star that was, or that is followed by some sort of a planet, and then every time the planet reemerges, we get the beep going. Now, or not the beep, but the signal. We get it's a radio signal, and that could theoretically just be scientifically explained based on the way that these celestial bodies react to one another,
like a vibration or
something like that. Yeah, exactly. But we just don't know. We have no idea.
I almost had a fucking anxiety attack because of course I see this on Reddit, and then I actually can't remember if it was this exact story or another one. Like we also detected these sort of waves coming from another planet, like way out there, and so then the conversation gets off of or onto like radiation. Then it was like gamma rays or something like that, and everyone was like, "Oh, is that what turns you into mutants?" And so then it was, well, honestly, if we got hit with like the amount of energy that was put out with it, like, oh yeah, if that directly hit Earth, like we would all be vaporized in seconds.
Makes sense.
And I was just like,
So
you really want to get messed up? Can
No.
I really mess you up, please?
yes, please.
I'm getting a 1 yes and a 1 no.
Please do it. I want to hear it.
Tiebreaker. I'm gonna do it. There's this thing called the dark forest theory, and I forget the name of the book that it's proposed in. It's a second part in a 3-part science fiction thing or novel series, and the whole theory is based on that if there was, or you want to keep your signal as dark and quiet as possible, because it's like logically, if you put yourself out there, the only thing that another species could glean from that is that you're trying to move out further and expand.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that will eventually take over their situation. So the best thing to do whenever you meet any species other than yourself is to just annihilate it. So it's best to just keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Don't send out any signals. Just keep your head down. Don't say anything. Don't send out any messages.
Yeah,
brother, because we're the wolves of the forest.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
it's called the dark forest theory because of if you shine a light in a dark forest, then everything knows where you are.
Right. I get that.
So,
Or maybe these radio signals we're getting, and by the way, that thing I was talking about that gave me almost a fucking panic attack about instant vaporization, it was actually from waves that were like 20,000 years old, 26,000 years old. So we're just now detecting them. So maybe that's the thing with the radio signals too. Like, are they older or?
Well, yeah, it's
at the same time, what if they sent them and then within a decade were able to travel?
Yeah.
So they're not going to be that far behind it in that
And
case.
we want all these cosmic answers about how the universe, but really, it's from this faraway planet, and they're alien teenagers saying, "Garlax, gargles, alien cock," and we're like, "Oh, what could it mean?"
We don't know. We
What
couldn't
could it
possibly
mean?
understand.
It's like how we find like paintings in ancient Rome of like dick drawings.
Right.
That's what
Oh, graffiti was a legit thing. I could.
Yeah.
So now, Mason, excuse me. Ethan is watching us right now, along with Brittany Roberts, and Ethan
Thanks for
had
nothing.
just,
Yeah.
and he just said, "Wouldn't that sound?" Because I said, how fast is it? Traveling basically, like light years away. How quick is it going? And he's just said the most obvious answer. It's wouldn't sound travel at the speed of sound.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm
Because
dumb.
radio.
But yes.
It's a radio wave.
There's a
is
lot
it-
we don't understand.
Okay, but doesn't the speed of sound, like whether it's a radio frequency or anything, a vibration of any kind, doesn't it all travel at one consistent speed?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm stupid. So,
Wouldn't it be disappointing if we were contacted by the Nickelback of the universe and that's what we were hearing?
all that reminded me of was Rick and Morty, the "Show me what you got," like
Yeah.
all the heads. And then one of them's like,
Are
"Music's
we getting
about art."
swifty?
They're like, disqualified.
You can't judge us, man.
There's one every year. Too true, man. No, stuff like that actually always
The
bothers me.
story begins at the dawn of time.
So, it kind of in relation to that, what we can't really comprehend. I was watching this video, and I don't want to go like too deep into details, but it was post World War II, and it was like British soldiers or British sailors, excuse me, and how they were doing a nuclear test, and they had the ships that were kind of close to the explosion site, so they had no idea what was about to happen. But basically, it was just before sunrise, and they were told to come up onto the deck of the ship, and they were to shield their eyes using their hands or covering with their arms, and
Like that.
and they were told to face away. And so they were told to face, whether it be south or whatever, just face away. And so they did that. And it was a nuclear explosion test that they were doing in the middle of the ocean. So when this happened, there's a documentary on this, and I want to kind of look this up, before the end. Hopefully I get to it. But these they're much older now. They're Navy veterans basically for the Royal Navy, and they discussed what that was like. And they said you had fellow sailors crying out for their mother. They've never seen such. It was something that they almost couldn't fathom. Whenever they covered their eyes with their hands, when the initial blast happened, they could see their bones, their blood vessels. It was like an X-ray through their eyelids. And like there was multiple accounts of people explaining this. Like like one was talking to the I guess the director of the documentary, was like, if you were standing right there and the blast happened, he's like, I could see your skull, I could see your bones, I could see your muscles, your blood vessels. And what that is just the initial blast of the nuclear blast, and it's just rushing whatever electrons, photons, whatever, through your body like an X-ray. It's like an X-ray, that initial blast.
And then the commander's like, the next time y'all want to short sheet me, that shit's going to happen to you. So I hope you realize.
Oh, no. And so there's, and a lot of these veterans, there are very few left by the time that this was made. I think this was like, early 2010s is when this was made. And they explained that initial shock. And then it felt like this pure heat hit them. And he said it was like somebody my height, 6 feet tall, on fire that just walked right through me, and then it just went away. And then you look up and all you see is this thunderstorm of smoke and lightning and just this cloud going up. And they said they can't fathom the feeling that they had from it, but there's no need for nuclear weapons in the world after they were that close to witnessing something like that. And I was like,
fine whenever we were blowing up the fucking Japs, but that could happen to us. Oh my God.
And the problem was that I guess the admiral of the ship just got too close. He got too close to it. And they said that there was a lot of sailors, you know, most of them were dead by this point, but I think 90% of them did not die of natural causes, leukemia, cancer, you know, whatever it was. And they all died in their 60s or 70s. And it was just something massive. And they related, they're like, it probably had something to do with that day.
While
And,
they're smoking
it's the same
2
as
packs
the
of
soldiers.
Lucky Strikes a day and drinking scotch for breakfast.
It's the same as, you know, any of the soldiers that were on site and after the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki bombs. I mean, how many of them that were there the day after still didn't end up living full natural lives because of the exact same
radiation?
Like,
yeah, it's
man, it just that's
I
a
can't.
lot to take in, man. You can't. Your body just can't handle that.
No.
There is a theory that I like, you know, if you want to believe in UFOs, and you know, if it goes back to we're not trying to get into like the alien conspiracy theories or anything, but when it comes to stuff like that and like the contact, Dustin, like you were saying, like the dark forest theory, the other end to that some people believe is that aliens out there are watching us and they're like, all right, you're fucking batshit insane and you don't need to have that technology. So there's actually a report around a lot of like nuclear testings and a lot of wars actually. In World War II, there's a lot of UFO sightings, and I mean, really, most wars, especially the more technologically advanced ones, that's where you get a lot of an influx of people reporting UFO sightings. So there's also the theory that, you know, maybe the benevolent aliens are watching us going like, all right, we're going to make sure you don't destroy yourselves or make enough technology to destroy things in the galaxy that doesn't need destroyed. It's interesting. I mean,
That's
for
sure.
That's very hand in hand with another theory that I've heard of, that there either is no other intelligent life in the galaxy, or there is and it hasn't advanced as far as we have yet, which means they wouldn't be able to contact us, or they have advanced farther than we have
And they're looking.
And they can see us and they're not
don't do that.
Let's just give them another 25,000 years and we'll come back. Like,
yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll figure it out by then.
Have y'all seen is a meme I saw on like Reddit or Facebook? It was these two this like UFO saucer landed and these two Martian alien looking things, and there's a massive crucifix of Jesus crucified, like a wooden carving or a stone carving, and the aliens were like, you know what we need to do? We need to get the fuck out of here right now.
If that's what they do to their own people?
Woo!
Well, this is episode number
We need to get the fuck out.
This is episode 115 of the Thanks for Nothing podcast, T4N podcast. I'm trying to switch that over. My name is Mike. To the left of me, I do have Dustin Hunter, and below is Mason Blakely. And tonight,
are we sure it's not David Bowie releasing his new single from Beyond the Grave?
Oh my God, it could be. It could be. It's angelic. Mm-hmm. It really is. So tonight, I'm kind of excited because we're going to be bringing back an old school trivia game. We used to do celebrity birthdays, but since we kind of did away with that, and we always talk about what we're drinking, I'll go ahead and start off with that. We're going to talk about celebrities' favorite drinks, and we're going to have a little trivia game here in just a few minutes, battle between Dustin and Mason. But I'll start off with what I'm drinking. It's always, my favorite grape juice, box wine, good old Barefoot Moscato. Dustin, what are you drinking?
I have my favorite cheap Mark West Pinot Noir.
Nice. Very good.
Retails for about $8 a bottle. So
it's alcoholic on a budget right there. It's beautiful. What about you, Mason?
Oh, just some Lone Star. I think. Are we all broke right now?
Yeah, it just happened. It just hit.
Well,
us.
we're all worried about the economy. We're all worried about just money in general. So I mean,
God, dude, it's rough. It is, but I think it's gonna.
One single star.
I think it's gonna. Things are gonna start turning around. applying for jobs. I mean, best of luck to everybody out there, that's trying to come out of this whole COVID catastrophe, basically. Also
Maybe in
want to welcome
November
on.
look for people who will give you money to sustain yourself through this hard time instead of taking, 40 recesses in a year.
Yeah, the people we put up there. Yeah, that would actually help. It's just disappointing all the way around. I want to welcome on Tony De Leon, Stacy Bear, and Izzy. Izzy,
Thanks
thank
for
you very
nothing.
much for joining us this evening. So, how this works? This can be a nice little showdown. I'm just really excited to bring this back. I'm going to list off certain facts about some said celebrity. First person to raise their hand. If I am reading, I don't want any arguments about who raised their hand first. I know this is on Zoom. I know there could be a delay. I don't give a shit. Technology gives somebody else the edge for the win. Always happens. So,
Dad.
I will pledge to abide by these rules.
Okay, good. So
I'm gonna rig it.
I find it strange that my opponent will not pledge to abide by these rules.
I want my opponent to have a drug test before.
So yes, these are going to be just pretty well known, not too obvious until the last fact. If you guys take too long to actually have the celebrity, but I will be mentioning at first what this celebrity's favorite drink is. So starting off, if you guys are ready,
Sean Connery.
It's actually he wins. Every single one of these is Sean Connery. That's all it is, just straight down. So starting off, this is going to be a female actress. Her favorite drink is a Mai Tai. She's a model, reality, TV star, and an animal rights activist. She first gained fame as a Playboy model. Now, this one's actually kind of funny about her. Her TV breakout was in 1991 as the Tool Time Girl. Yep.
Oh, I lost it. Nope, don't know her name.
Okay, as the Tool Time Girl on Home Improvement. She gained international fame as a Malibu lifeguard on the series Baywatch. Yep.
Is it Pamela Anderson?
It's Pamela Anderson. I did not know that she was the Tool Time Girl. I did not know that.
I didn't either. That's why I bowed out. That was going to be my answer until you said Home Improvement, and I was like, oh, it's not Baywatch. Oh.
Yep. If you just waited, the next one was going to be Baywatch.
Yep.
I watched the show for Tim Allen, not fucking Pam Anderson.
That was young Pam Anderson, too. Okay, so
I was for some reason about to say like Christina Berkeley.
Who's that?
I think she was later. Brinkley.
Oh, yeah. She was the one that replaced Pam Anderson.
Christine Brinkley?
I don't know. They're all the same. It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Moving on.
Early 90s heartthrobs.
We've never seen them in the same room together.
Mason has 1 point right now. Second celebrity, his favorite drink is a Bombay Sapphire Martini. He was born in Ireland in 1960. He formed a band in high school, and their sixth album, The Joshua Tree, made them international stars. Mason.
Bono.
It's Bono. That's correct. All right. Dustin, that was a sad raise right there, too. I saw you blink like really slow.
Because he already had it. Like
I
was putting my hand up just in the off chance that he didn't get Bono.
I didn't know that, though. I thought, like, I've heard stories of Bono being able to put down Guinness. Like, Noel Gallagher of Oasis says that Bono can drink more than Morrissey and Bono can drink more than anyone he's ever met in his life.
Well, I think Dustin can put it down better than you and I combined, actually. That guy's a monster. And
I'd rather drink with Dustin than Morrissey because Morrissey probably just gets really racist after a while.
He gets overtly racist, and then he really pushes that vegan lifestyle on you.
Okay, so if Mason gets this one, the last two are going to be double points. So let's go ahead. Just to give Dustin the handicap so you can come back and try to take it. So third celebrity, his favorite drink is a raspberry cheesecake. Before you ask for the ingredients and how to make that, it's called Google. Look it up. I didn't write it down. So anyways, his favorite drink is a raspberry cheesecake. He was born in Kentucky in 1961. Yes.
George Clooney.
Holy shit, yes.
I don't know.
Was it Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god.
Actually,
How do you do you have like a George Clooney biography that you read? Like the pages are all worn out or something?
he's right behind me, isn't he? No, I actually know that because I get into arguments all the time about, and despite the fact we have a reality TV star president, a lot of conservatives have this thing where like celebrities shouldn't ever have opinions on politics, and they're like they're the elite, like they don't understand anything.
And
And
Clooney,
then my
yeah,
thing is like,
Brothers shouldn't
Clooney's
be
from
allowed to do
fucking
that.
Kentucky. He's from fucking Kentucky.
it's true. But he was also
You know,
born to like I think his mother was like a producer or something like that. And his father is a news anchor. I mean, he was already in media by the time he was born. So okay, all right.
You
So
need to
now
pick up that George Clooney biography again and figure out the facts, sir.
if I knew that, my
So
this is my second edition, George Clooney.
So now that Dustin is down 3-0 here, we're going to go ahead and make these last two double point. And if you say you've never heard of this person, you're a fucking liar. Okay, you are. I think you have. I don't think you're going to do that. I think you've stopped doing that recently. But all right, next celebrity. His favorite drink is a vodka cranberry with a splash of soda. Basically, if you get this just on where he was born, I'm what the fuck, dude? He was born in 1968, Hartford, Connecticut. He was a co-host on the show Extra until 2008. He is the leading.
Is it
Go
Ryan
ahead, Mason.
Seacrest?
What?
Is it Ryan Seacrest?
It is not.
Wow.
It is not. He is the leading vocalist for the band Sugar Ray, which formed in 1986.
Fuck. It's rock and roll. It's rock and roll, Ryan Seacrest.
It's rock and roll, Ryan. What's that?
No more hint?
That's the final hint. I can't go any further than that.
I think I know the dude's name.
Say it so I can answer it.
Ridicule me if you want afterwards, but I think I know the dude's name. It's Rob Thomas, right?
I already. No. What'd you say? Rob Thomas?
Rob
Damn
Thomas?
it, Dustin. You know this person. Mason.
Mark McGrath.
It's Mark McGrath. It is Mark McGrath.
Never would have gotten that.
Oh, fuck off. You would have gotten Mark McGrath.
No.
Yes, you would have.
I can give you two of Sugar Ray's songs, but I could not have told you that was Mark McGrath.
We'll do that when it's over.
Okay. All right. So
no, I just want to fly. And then what's the every morning there's a halo
hanging on the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did no one get my when it's over joke?
Oh, I know that one too.
Is it really over? Okay. Okay, so last one's going to be for everything here. I'm already going to lay claim for now. Actually, now that Mason just got back, we're going to do it for everything. Here we go.
Don't give me anything, dude. Just say the last one and let's see what happens.
You're winner with a handicap. This is struggle bus time for you right now. Like you're down 5-0. So this is going to be worth 6 points. All right, here we go. So
you're going to have an asterisk.
All right, so this individual's favorite drink is a gin martini. He was born in 1943, New Jersey. He was a regular on a 1953 television variety show as a kid, known as Star Time Kids.
What year was that? I'm so sorry.
Star Time Kids.
What year?
1953.
Did you say the year? 53. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so he was about 10 years old. His big film break came in 1980 on Martin Scorsese's masterpiece, Raging.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Oh, God, you just got wrecked, bro. You just got like this. It was only 5 questions, and he won 11-0. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Dustin's gonna like lay awake at night now, like just like what the fuck.
Next time I come to the office, I might. Never mind. That's too dark of a joke.
Oh man, well that was fun. All right, well very good. The other one I had was Cal Ripken Jr. The only thing I was going to say was MLB Hall of Famer nicknamed the Iron Man. So, but yeah, his favorite drink is a rum runner. So, there wasn't anything specific that I wanted to talk about with this show. So I could just, there's a lot of trending topics that are going on right now. A lot with the playoffs. The NBA has suspended a few of the playoff games for a short period of time due to
Every game today.
What's that? Every game today. That's correct.
Every single game today.
Which tells me the NBA. And I want to get further into that because we're going to be playing something here. I got, I think, 9 or 10 topics to get into, but they're going to go kind of quick. And this is going to be known as rapid fire. So basically, I'm just going to point to one of you guys, Dustin or Mason, and I'm just going to want your opinion real quick, or we can go across the table and each of you guys give you a quick opinion, and then we'll open up a little bit more on the story afterwards. So we're pretty good on how this actually works. So I'm going to start off here. I'm going to start with the winner. I'll start with Mason. So first topic of rapid fire.
How's that feel, Dustin? No one wants your opinion.
So first topic. There's an NHL player for the San Jose Sharks. His name is Logan Couture. He states that he was punched for mentioning Trump in Toronto.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
I'm sure everyone clapped. I mean, I doubt that. You're punched because you're a hockey player and you got into a fight and someone punched you.
Apparently so. Dustin, what do you think?
I think that's exactly the correct assessment. I mean,
it's fair. Okay.
He's a hockey player in Toronto who has their own hockey team, who's not usually overly good, I'll say. And a lot of the fans take offense at that. So whenever other hockey players happen to be around, even if they're native, they just, get treated differently, I should say.
Okay. All right. So I want to read a little bit of this to you guys. This is coming from Global News. A lot of these topics are coming from Global News, and they're just kind of quick breakdowns of certain trending topics. Bias. And so, so Logan Couture, he claimed that somebody sucker punched him in Toronto after he spoke up about voting for the Republican Party and mentioned Donald Trump on Tuesday night. He said, this was his quote, "I talked about voting for the Republican Party, and I mentioned Donald Trump by name, and I was sucker punched. Is this really what we are coming to? If you vote, you are a villain. Man, this world is so wrong." He added in follow-up tweets that he doesn't vote. He mentioned that his father, being a former police officer, "I would, if I could, vote Republican." Now, the problem with this is it's unclear where or if the alleged sucker punch happened, or if any witnesses were present to corroborate Couture's story. The Toronto Police Service did not have any information to share about the allegations, and Couture declined to offer further comment to a San Jose Sharks beat writer for The Athletic. So,
hockey players, there's two of them, super fucking cool, or the douchiest fucking human beings.
So it makes you wonder, because if he didn't want to give it to the reporter, because when a reporter asked him about it, because obviously he tweeted about it, and he was like, "No, I have nothing else to say about it." It's like, did it happen, or are you just saying that? Like, are you just trying to stir? Are you trying to stir controversy with something, leading up to the election? I don't know, but I thought that was kind of an interesting little story there. Second one, Dustin, I want to bring this up to you. What's up?
So far, this hasn't been very rapid.
No, it's not. So I want the rapid responses on each one. And now I'm going to explain a little bit further on the story for each. But yeah, no, rapid fire in the history of T4N has never been rapid. It's just not. We're just going to have to change it.
That's never going to happen.
Trust me, I know.
So, all right. So second one, Dustin, I want to talk to you, ask you this. 13-year-old Braden Harrington thanked Joe Biden during the DNC for helping him find his confidence as a fellow stutterer. What do you think about that?
I think that their potential for a creepy Uncle Joe meme is really there a lot.
Thanks, Uncle Joe.
Yeah. I hate it, man. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, like that'll be there. Apparently, so this
it's a sweet story. It's a sweet story. And it's just really sad that that's the way it is.
Oh, of course. And it's going to be much worse, in the upcoming months. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost like completely, fucking numb to it now anyway. Mason, what do you think?
I disagree. There's actually another video of him. There's a guy talking like at one of the rallies, it was like during the primaries. And the guy was talking about how he had a stutter. And I can't remember if he was stuttering there when he's talking to Joe, but Joe just like kind of like reached in and he said something like really encouraging, just like you got this, like you can do this, like you can beat this. I
And I
think
believe
I think it's a difference between the RNC and the DNC. The RNC was complete. The world's gonna end if you don't fucking put us in charge. And here's this Nicholas Sandman kid who got unfairly, ran through the media. That
sure.
wasn't
He
cool.
absolutely did, 100%.
But let him talk at the RNC, whatever. But this kid saying like, hey, I saw the vice president of the United States and the potential president of the United States overcome a stutter that I suffer from, and he personally sat down, which Biden does. He did that in the past a lot. He would literally sit down with people and like reach out and help them overcome their stutter. So maybe I'm biased because I'm voting for Biden, but I think it's a really nice thing. I saw the
Absolutely.
video. It was a very sweet video. I didn't get any creepy Uncle Joe vibes, but I think in fact
No.
I think it goes against that. Like this is a human being, and that's the thing. Trump wants to put himself up as this God amongst men that's gonna be the savior of the American race, and then Biden's like, "Hey, I'm human like you." So,
And also, I think that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't mean to make it sound like I'm voting for the man as well. It's not that.
Hey,
It's
listen
just
here, Jack. Sit on my lap right now. Let Uncle Joe really teach you some.
Joe, don't do it. Why are you doing that? You don't have to do that.
Listen here, corn pop. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna recite all this perfectly to me, and then you can get off my lap, and then I'll put pants on.
But
No.
Why are you like this, Joe?
Okay, so yeah, it was actually so Braden Harrington actually the video went viral after it was shown on the DNC. Check out the video. It's pretty cool.
It was pretty empowering. Like you felt good for the kid.
So there's 3 TikTok stars, and then I'm gonna go over here to you, Mason. So let me see. Hold on, let me find it real quick here. Yeah, so there's gonna be 3 TikTok stars. They were doing they had a huge mansion party in Los Angeles. And
Mason had a couple of those.
What's that?
So Mason and I had a couple of those.
Oh yeah, at the Charles Mansion. Yeah, legendary parties. So these 3 TikTok stars hold a mansion party. There was over 100 people attended it. It was huge. And so the mayor actually shut down all utilities to that mansion. What are your thoughts on that?
Good, you fucking morons.
Yeah, it's just, and I get it. It's almost like it's just as bad. I think this individual's name. It looks like, yeah, the mayor's name is Eric Garcetti. It was TikTok star Bryce Hall's rented home in the Hollywood Hills. That's what it was. It was a mansion party that went on over there. And his influencer roommates are Noah Beck and Blake Gray. And yeah, so they had over 100 people at this party.
I can't get sick. I'm on TikTok.
And like, yeah, and the thing about it is, I feel like TikTok's going to be, less popular than Vine. It's not going to last as long as Vine did, because Vine only lasted about 6 years for, what was it, 5-second videos or 6-second videos. And with all the controversy surrounding TikTok now, that's not really going to matter. But yeah, it's just 3 bros that are 21, 22 years old that just had this huge mansion party, and the mayor just single-handedly selected that house and just went, nope, no water, no electricity, no nothing. Dustin, what do you think?
I didn't know about this party before, and I'm glad I didn't, and I'm not going to remember it after this conversation.
Can you imagine us at that party? Are we just not talking to anybody at this party?
No. Why are we at this party? Why are we at this party?
We're not let into the party.
So there's a Netflix documentary that came out, Dustin, or excuse me, it's a French film that was following preteen dancers from France. It was called Cuties, and so Netflix. What's that?
Preteen.
Yeah, preteen dancers.
Roughly 11, yes.
Yeah, so it's called Cuties, and the original artwork that Netflix had up for the film was considered to be sexually suggestive. And so a lot of people were saying that their marketing based on a preteen's sexuality. Netflix had apologized about it and changed the artwork for it. Was that intentional, what they did?
Yes.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Simply because the creator of that film, who I believe was from Senegal, wrote it based on her experience. And the overly sexualization of preteens was a heavy theme because that was her experience. I do not think that the image that Netflix used was correct because it sent a really bad vibe to it. The actual original poster that the creator wanted was on there. She had put, it was just like 5 or 6 girls that were walking down a street, just, you know, happy, or at least for that time happy.
Right.
So that's just, yeah, no, it was absolutely a choice. They wanted to over sexualize it to draw people in. How many people? I guarantee you, how many people watched that because of this, and how many people refused to watch it, and well, this and that, and come on.
Okay, so my issue with it was with the artwork. I saw it, and I just thought they were just preteen dancers. Maybe because I'm not sick and twisted in any sort of way. I just see like preteen dancers or whatever, stage dancers, and I was just like, oh, kids that are dancers. And like, that's just how my brain took it. But maybe that is like sexualizing it in some sort of way, like for more clicks. I didn't see it that way. I just went, oh, well, it's not a film I would want to watch anyway. I don't care. But I mean,
what's the difference between that and child beauty pageants, or preteen cheerleader squads? I mean, or gymnastics in general.
Gymnastics,
yeah. Like, yes, there's no real difference there. I mean, they're all being exploited, sort of, and
yeah, but
to a certain degree, they are exploited sexually.
That's fair.
Netflix what about needs to read the room?
No, that's for sure.
That's the best.
For sure. That's the best take on this. Is like, bro, you didn't have to.
They need to hire someone to go in there and be like, we have got to write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Diddle kids. But
no, and like, probably I'm assuming whoever is like, you know, the final say on the artwork for all the shows probably got in a lot of trouble for it because they didn't read the room. They didn't see what was going on, you know, where everybody was at and what was.
And there's a way you can do that. You can tell that story without. Okay, because here's the thing. I'm not talking about censorship, but it's like the difference between like the movie Halloween that depicts a night of mass murder, and it's done in an artful, tasteful way. And then there's the Serbian film, and you know it's murder and the things in the Serbian film. Why did you make
that?
Well, yeah, that's just like exploitation. It's just like you can make movies about graphic, horrible things without people don't want to see that.
That's fair.
You know, so
I agree with you.
It's like it's like telling the story without in a more artistic way instead of just a gory, you know, just a like a torture porn thing. Like it's, you know, I put like I don't want to see little girls and like little. I don't want to see them twerking in skimpy outfits. Like that's like I think it's because I'm a dad now. I'm just that's not happening.
Yeah, but you were like that before too. I mean,
but now it's like deeper where it's like, you know, I even think about that, Dustin, like gymnastics, where I'm just like, oh, I don't like that either.
Well, there's a really good Netflix miniseries that I won't say that Brie forced me to watch because I enjoyed watching it, but it involved cheerleading, and it was about a college group of cheerleaders, but that it also went into other, like, the younger stages of cheerleading and
just the culture.
11 to 13-year-olds that are dressed up like typical cheerleaders and just doing typical things that cheerleaders do, and you're just kind of like, ugh.
This is actually quite discomforting a little bit. I get that. So,
And allow that younger cheerleaders, gymnastics of any kind, like just, man, it all feels real skeevy.
The cheerleading, the gymnastics, like all that stuff I get. Like, I don't know if I would ever let my daughter, I don't want to say let, because, I mean, I'm not going to be like that. Like, you're not doing this, this, and this. But, like, beauty pageants are just not a thing that's just not necessary.
right.
It's not athletic.
I agree.
It's not, any sort of physical activity.
They have talents.
Yeah, because like 45-year-old men are like, oh, is this a part where they hula hoop? And they, and I think, I mean, my Tara, she was a cheerleader when she was like little, but now, like, whenever I think about my daughter, I'm just like, as a dad, I'll probably be sitting there just like, if she ever were to be a cheerleader, just looking around the stands like, fuck is that guy looking at?
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. It's always in the back of your mind.
And I'm pretty sure most good fathers would be looking at me the same way. Like, what's that guy looking at? We ought to be like, do you have a daughter here? Yes. Do you? Yes. Okay.
And I think now, I mean, in today's day and age, with a lot of the fears of, predatory nature or whatever, I've realized that even having a niece, that, those questions get asked like, oh, do you have a kid here? Do you have this here? Do you have a son? Do you have a daughter? If not, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
Like, it's just natural, all right. So
for sure. Yeah, no, there's no way that I could walk up to a park and just sit there and watch children play. That was like 80 years old.
Ever.
And then it's fine, apparently. But if I did it, then why are you here?
You match a description.
Shave the goatee part of your facial hair first.
No, I'm gonna have it like separated so that it just kind of comes up.
So, all right, next topic here, Mason. So, Jacob Blake was paralyzed from the waist down following the shooting incident in Wisconsin. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that one's a pretty insane scenario when he put into live what happened today or last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that I don't think people realize. I get with cops, they have to make split judgment decisions, like, is that guy drawing a gun or not? But then when people bring up also like Dylan Roof, who shot up a fucking black church and got purchased Burger King afterwards and taken in alive. But then this guy was, whether or not he wasn't complying, which he should, 7 fucking times in the back. What were you just like? Was your dick getting harder every bullet that came out? Just like,
no, it's a reaction.
Well, but still,
it's not right.
No, I mean, and the fact that I think it's the fact that when you have this sort of the system that we have now, if one of those bullets went stray and hit one of the passengers that happened to be a child, it would be like, well, I mean, their lives were threatened.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all. And then,
Dustin.
Yeah.
I think Mason said it all. I got nothing to add.
Yeah. So then that just that brings me to the next one here. Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old who fired his weapon into a crowd of protesters in Wisconsin, was arrested in Illinois. What are your thoughts on that? Anyone, just go ahead and fire that off.
Fuck you.
Why wasn't he arrested at the scene of the crime when the
how did he flee?
Because Dylan Roof,
he had the damn gun with his hands up and guys screaming behind him. This guy shot those people.
Quote.
That's my question.
We appreciate you being here from the cops. The cops told him, we appreciate you being here. It's disgusting.
Before the shots were fired.
What?
Before the shots were fired.
No.
It was after.
I'm pretty sure, maybe it was before, but they're having like the militia water, and maybe it's too much Reddit that I'm on, but like once you have the cops backing up the militia at all costs, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and call people bootlickers or anything. I have family that are police officers, but I'm like, this is getting out of hand. You guys know what you're doing. And
Yeah, I saw a photo today from Illinois. I forget what city, but there were protesters lined down both sides of the street, one for one side, one for the other.
mm-hmm.
And for sure, all the cop presence was on one side.
Right.
And I'll only give you one guess as to which
Of
side.
course.
And if you're wrong, sorry, buddy.
Well, the thing is I know that some of these protests have, gotten out of hand, and it is a very stressful situation. I'm not gonna knock that. I'm not. It's the treatment in those situations where once again you're faced with, how is it that this guy was able to leave Wisconsin and go to Illinois, and then you've had multiple incidents in the back that or in the past that have really made Black Lives Matter, this protest, these rallies and stuff like that happen where it was unjustified. And so if this guy can actually kill people and walk away and you don't say anything or you don't do anything, he fled states. He was a fugitive. He was a fugitive.
2 people and 1 person who's going to lose an arm.
Yeah. And that's, heavily injured. Okay. So
from a 17-year-old kid who traveled across state lines with a deadly weapon.
But, one thing, too, with Jacob Blake was his name, right?
The one that was shot, yes.
Yeah. So, and this is my thing, too, when it comes down to I felt threatened or my life was in danger. This guy's back is to you. Even if he was reaching for a gun.
Yes, it's that. You
have that much more of a jump on him. And you should be trained to do so. And honestly, this is what it all comes down to. This is what I'm not afraid to say. If you're too scared to be a cop, you don't need to be a cop. If you're that fucking scared, do something else.
Have you seen the video of what happened?
I heard he was breaking up a fight between 2 women.
He may have been. The video that I saw
starts.
He didn't do himself any favors at the very beginning, and then had some people actually come at him to the point where he was on the ground, still had his weapon, but it was on a strap around him. So he still had the weapon, and then they got him on the ground, started doing
you're talking about Rittenhouse. I thought you were talking about
I'm so
Blake.
sorry. I got confused. I'm so
I was like, wait, this is
skip me.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Nope, skip me. We were talking about the wrong person.
So, that is actually part of this topic. You are correct. He was on the ground, and he actually shot again from a seated position after he was on the ground. That did happen, absolutely. And then once, and this is what I feared when it came to these protests and these riots. What I feared,
does that constitute him defending himself?
That's where it goes to, but it's like he already opened fire, right? But before that, because this is what I've been scared of. I remember there was that one guy who screamed "All Lives Matter" and he had a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Right. And then they were like, hit this motherfucker with a skateboard or whatever they said. And it was ridiculous. But I've been really afraid of the first person to fire a gunshot, because that is gonna have a domino effect of a lot of guns coming out and a lot of shooting happening. And it's gonna be a massacre. It's no longer a protest. It's no longer a riot. It becomes a massacre. And then that's going to be where we're at. This is going to be beyond Las Vegas. This isn't just like a lone shooter. This isn't just a school shooting, which both are terrible. This is going to be 2 angry sides on this topic, which whatever side you're on, now the bullets are flying. And now it's just pure outright violence. And we're there. You see it happening with this kid, 17-year-old kid, which actually Brittany said, how was he able to carry the gun legally?
I think the age is 16.
From what I saw, the law in Wisconsin is you have to, in order to open carry, you have to be 18, but it's only a misdemeanor
if you're below 18.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I've seen a
What happens
couple.
when
I've seen
you're
a couple different things about charging him felony or not, because people were killed while he was in the middle of committing a crime.
Right.
Being an 18-year-old openly carrying a weapon like that, or being under 18 carrying a weapon like that.
Right.
across state
So
lines? Like, does he have the proper, the proper papers to cross state lines with such a weapon?
No.
a minor cannot cross state lines with that sort of weapon, as far as as far as I know, in
That's what I've
any
read.
state.
You
But
can't.
see, but here's what you have to think about too. That if that was like, take the shutdown protest in Michigan, or wherever, get a fucking 17-year-old black kid from a different state walking in there, he'd be fucking dead. He'd be dead. Like, there's no chance he would survive that. But see, this is the problem. What it comes down to, because there's that picture of the dude that got shot in the arm, and he had his pistol, and they're like, now it becomes like, oh well, you take on a guy with an AR-15 with a pistol, what do you expect to happen? Or, oh, see, they weren't so peaceful either. Despite what happened, what you're saying is, well, I don't agree with your side, so you shouldn't have had a gun. So it's a good thing the guy that agrees with my side had a gun.
And it becomes, yeah. And then, and it's always, and I think throughout history and all time, it's going to be like that. You're always going to agree with the side that you philosophically believe in, you're politically believe in. There's more innocence on that side. None of it is good. And there was, because what they said about him in the seated position whenever he was firing back, and they're like, is that self-defense? Is that not? There was multiple gunshots in the background going.
Oh yeah,
They were all fucking shooting at each other by that point.
for sure. No,
because one person fired their fucking weapon.
Exactly that. Somebody heard gunshots, and then more gunshots, which beget more gunshots, which beget more gunshots. I mean,
And right now, and this is where I go, this is where media goes, because it's like, okay, white guy, he does it. And then it goes, look, this is the point that they've been trying to make with Black Lives Matter. How is it that he became a fugitive? How did he leave? Okay, we get that. But let's talk about the other gunshots too that went off behind it, because that's not the main point of this story right now. And I understand that it's the perpetrator that actually did it. But that should be the real part of this story. Some asshole actually fired their weapon. Okay. He obviously was supporting one side of it when he did it. He fired into protesters, but then multiple gunshots happened after that. Multiple firings were happening. And it's like, you did it. You just made this a fucking massacre. It has now reached that point.
And then, let's look at what that kid did to begin with. So is it, I think he loses his argument for self-defense whenever he's in the seated position firing and people are running from the gun. That's not self-defense.
Oh, yeah.
No, but
you're attacking.
Even with, if you see some of the video, it looks like the guy with the pistol. From what I saw, I tried watching it. I can't make heads or tail of it. But I've heard it. It looks like the guy that got shot in the arm, or no, the guy that got shot in the head, was being aggressive first. But then when you have this kid that, it's one thing walking around carrying because you want your protection, but then you're fucking flaunting that I have an AR-15, all right, and you know whose side
You're
they're
a
on.
kid.
Militia, yeah.
You're a kid.
So when it comes down to it, when that kid, no matter who got aggressive first, like the dude that hit him or tried to hit him with the skateboard, and then when he started getting attacked whenever he fell down, what would you do in that situation when you're like, I just saw some fucking dude get shot in the head, and there's a guy walking around this otherwise, despite what the media was saying, I heard there's some white supremacist agitation there, which I don't doubt, because that's what they fucking do. But you see, it's a whole concept of open carry to begin with. Take any mass shooting, and let's say you do open carry, and you just hear gunshots firing, and say you're the good guy with the gun, but then you hear gunshots and you see someone near you drop, and you just see a guy with a gun. You're like, that's probably the fucker doing it, and I'm not going to sit around here to figure out before I get shot. So even if that kid was defending himself, you just, like, say you're just a protester there and you don't have anything to do with that initial commotion, but you see someone drop and you see someone get shot in the arm or whatever, and then you see a person walking the other way carrying an AR-15, you're gonna be like, that dude's trying to fucking massacre us. You know what? What
Right.
else would you think?
Right.
And so you attack him to stop him, and that's the. I don't. There's no right answer. I mean, there is a right answer, but
There is a right answer.
like in that situation or that moment, what do you do?
What does Tommy Lee Jones say in Men in Black? A person is smart. People are dumb. You know, like a group of people are stupid. Like they freak out. They can't. And that is what I'm afraid of. Is a group. And when one shoots, it's no longer logical thinking.
That dude started a fire. He started a fucking fire. That guy.
Exactly.
And
I want to welcome on real quick here, Kayla Cameron, Marcus, what's up, and Mark Franz. Thank you for joining us. So let's get off of this right now because this can go on for another 6 hours. I only got a couple more here, and it's going to have to do with the Black Lives Matter, the protests, and especially with Jacob Blake, Milwaukee Bucks boycott. Mason, what's your thoughts on that with the boycott and them suspending it? What do you think the NBA is trying to do right now? Just kind of give it like a day to
they're
cool
learning
off?
they're learning from the NFL and Kaepernick because there's the NBA is predominantly black. And as white people, when you sit down and say, like, we can't tell you your experience is unjustified or invalidated. So if you have a bunch of, black people in a league saying like, yeah, no, this is horrible for our community, you can't sit there and say, no, it's not. You can't say that. So good for them. They're learning from Kaepernick.
Gotcha.
The NBA especially too. Adam Silver is going to play it a lot better than Goodell will.
And I, before I get to you, Dustin, I also think that they're going to probably try to negotiate and make sure, hey, are we going to finish this out? Are we going to get past this first round right now? That's probably why they're suspending the games, just to make sure, hey, what do you guys want to do right now? Maybe you're making a statement at the moment, for this cause. And when do you want to reschedule it so we can just finish this up? Because this shit should have been over 2.5 months ago. So
LeBron's going to be like, look, I don't think it's safe to continue the playoffs. I think we should just move to the finals and I don't know, me and the Clippers, like we'll play each other.
Dustin, what do you think?
I think you're very, if not right on, very close to it. I mean, I would not be one bit surprised if tomorrow's games are postponed as well. And just kind of give everybody a fair shake because the team, if the NBA doesn't postpone tomorrow's games, then they just gave all 6 of those
extra
teams
rest,
a day off.
Yeah. So then Mavs game 6 tomorrow's.
Yep, exactly. How much of a stink with those other teams? I think there's 3 games tomorrow. The other 6 teams that are playing tomorrow. That's going to be
a problem.
I think at least tomorrow will also be postponed, regardless of the reason.
I think they're negotiating tomorrow.
Yeah. Finally, Paul George has a good game. He hasn't had one this whole series, and then all this shit happens right now.
Playoff P.
So hopefully that's the only good game because that was fucking embarrassing.
What we were talking about in our group text earlier, he might have had a good game, but if everybody ends up taking a couple extra days off, maybe Porzingis kind of gets
Luka's
his
ankle
knee back into shape. Maybe Luka's ankle starts to kind of feel a lot better because it's not hard to see that he's struggling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So these last 2 right here, they have to do with Luka. All right. So Mason, Montreal Herald calls Luka a bitch ass white boy. NBA does not suspend, but releases a statement on racial tension. Should Montreal Herald, this is a fucking good one, should he have been suspended?
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead, Mason. No, please, go ahead.
There's just simply a difference between if him calling him a white boy versus if Luke could have been like stupid ass in word.
Right. And so, okay. All right. That's good point. Dustin.
If I might.
Yep.
I don't disagree with that sentiment whatsoever. You are 100% right. One is higher or worse than the other.
Mm-hmm.
However, what happens in the future, and nothing is done about this, right? Nothing at all. So now next year something happens, and it's not even Luka this time. It's some other dude that's playing, and just this white ass boy over here, and then nothing happens. Like I'm not trying to say that one is worse than the other, but you gotta punish equally, regardless. You can't allow any hate speech, just regardless of any of it. That needs to be completely nothing.
I agree, and because you're like you're a conglomerate, like you're.
We allow one. Why do we allow another? Like,
but where do you draw the line? Because I don't think it's right what he said. I think maybe give him a foul, not like a technical or anything, like
or a fine.
I wouldn't even say that because there's so much trash talk. So now the next player that says, call someone like, watch it, you fucking moron. All right, well, that gotta give you a fine. Like where do you draw the line? Because one,
that's an extreme example, man.
No, because you have to. It has to be a blanket. You can't choose. Like you can say this, and this, but not this. But the thing is,
but moron doesn't have a racial overtone to it.
And that's the thing.
No, it doesn't. But white boy isn't a racial slur.
But it's still pointing out to the race. And so the point that I'm making now, look, Mason, you were right on one thing. And I was actually listening to The Fan whenever I was doing Uber Eats, and they talked about how, look, like one racial, there's going to be it's always going to be two different levels between black people and white people, and calling them by racial slurs. No matter what, it's always going to be like that. However, what they're trying to do is enact a zero tolerance policy, because they did that with gay slurs, I think, last year. You can't use the F word. You can't use anything for any homosexual derogatory ways. So because you can get suspended for it. And so obviously right now, if you call them a bad term, or even bitch ass black boy, like if you do that, like you're gonna get in trouble. And so
it's still hate speech.
The NBA issued a statement. They issued a statement about racial tension because of what had happened. Montreal Herald did apologize. Luka did accept the apology. It obviously didn't impact him that much. He didn't care. But the thing is that
Game 5 was pretty terrible for all around for all the Mavs. So
it really was. And that's going to bring me because
trash human beings, all of them. Fuck them.
So this is going to bring Clippers fucking. And I think they're getting frustrated with this series, and I don't think they're not even going to hit close to.
Why are the Mavericks so good?
And that's going to bring me to my final point here. My final topic.
Can I bring up one thing too? I think no, I'm not saying like differentiate between the N-word and like white boy. I guess what I'm saying is because there's gonna be plenty of people that cry foul like. How come I said this and I got fined, but they said that and didn't? And you would have to have like a blanket, like all around, like words you can't say, but then regulating that.
It's hard.
Aside from like legit racial slurs, I mean, how far do you go? I mean,
you have to go with the blanket hate speech, and then let the situation dictate what that means. That's the only way I can see it.
That's
it. Make a blanket zero tolerance hate speech, and then whatever the particular situation is, that's how you judge it. That's the only way I can think of.
In the NBA, I bet you from now on, they're probably going to do something like that. Based on this, they're probably going to say, hey, look, no more racial shit. Like no matter what, you can't say it. You can't do it. Even black on black, you can't do it. You just can't say it. If you say it, we're fucking done. Like I see
everybody to the same standard.
Because white person to white person, we don't go fucking ass white boy. We don't do that. Like that just doesn't even make sense. But
easy. Take it easy there, Mike.
I'm serious. White people don't do that to other white people. All right. If you're getting offended by a white person calling you a fucking ass white boy, bitch ass white boy, that's just confusing. I'd be very confused if somebody said that to me. But that does happen in minorities where you just kind of do that between one and another, and then one to the white or whatever, or just same race. And I think the NBA is eventually going to be like, no more racial shit, because I don't even want to fucking hear it. Like, I feel like that's just what's going to happen. And it'll happen after this Montreal bullshit. Okay, so last one, Marcus Morris. Did he reach with his foot to get onto Luka's ankle?
Absolutely, he did.
He is
He
denying
calibrated that
it
shit.
No
adamantly.
question. Oh
He looked
my
at the
god.
angles, the all the geometry involved. He did all the math like Rain Man and stuck
Okay.
his foot down.
Did you guys ever see the?
I think what he did,
Mike, where are you going?
stood, he stopped, and then just like kind of went a little more, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever see the Kevin James bit about how sometimes we as guys have to try to pull our underwear out of our ass, but we don't want to touch it, and then you kind of turn into Elvis for a second, like you just do a weird step to get to clear things up down there, as it were. That's what that step looked like to me, just like a whoop.
He almost did a front split. Like, I felt like he was just like going all the way forward. I was like, "You did."
But it was an accident. It was an accident.
Oh, and Luca's
Need
face.
for it to happen. It's totally fine.
And Luca's face was even like he raised his eyebrows at it. Like, yeah, he didn't say it. He was like, I have my opinions, which obviously means like, yeah, he fucking stepped on my ankle. Like,
but he was vocal, very vocal all throughout Game 5.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, tons of times where I mean, he would call out and one because he felt that the refs missed a call.
Just like Game 1, because they
Yeah,
did that to him a shit ton in Game 1.
He didn't do himself any favors as far as the refs go. Just throwing that out there, and I'm not trying to say that that's his fault. Just
Well,
it's what happened.
during the actual live game, like the live telecast of it, you don't see the step, but the game stops and the two refs are talking because they saw it. And then they're like, was it intentional? Was it not? And they were like, no, it wasn't. But the ref stopped the game, and it was already on a rebound going the other way whenever the step happened. So it was like they talked to each other about it. And I almost feel like that should have been reviewed, like just to see, but they didn't. They just kind of went no foul, just keep going. And it's like, no, you motherfuckers, you should have reviewed.
One was like, let's review it, and the other was like, hey, we're not supposed to do that, remember? The clip because fuck them. What is it with the Mavs and the refs? I think it's Mark Cuban.
It's Mark Cuban. It is. And I think because Mark Cuban's very loud, he's very vocal. I'm sure he has a lot of say with whatever goes on in the league, and they don't like him. So it just kind of keeps trashing him. And they've been doing it for 15 years now, so who cares? Like, it's all bullshit. So, okay.
That 21-year-old kid who's been playing basketball his entire life and is going to be the face of the NBA, he almost broke his ankle. Like, oh. Carry on.
Oh.
Oh.
So that's not necessarily rapid, but that is rapid fire. No, that was actually really enjoyable. So before we wrap things up here, I think Dustin, I don't know if you got anybody on this, but we talk about a lot of heavy shit. We bitch about a lot of stuff, but we always want to talk about who's doing some good in the world, and we want to give them a kind thanks for something. So do we got anybody to thank this evening?
Oh, for sure. We have a lot of people to thank.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
I mean, including you and you and you.
No.
And you.
Not you and not you, but you. You probably did something.
Oh,
no, this is involving an entire continent. So, as it turns out, according to the Africa Regional Certification Commission, Africa has now completely been declared free from wild polio. Yes.
Is that a polio mosquito right there that just came into?
How did they do that?
Well, it's wonderful that you'd ask that, Mason. As it turns out, they did a lot of work, and they sent a lot of people. Actually, Nelson Mandela was one of the first people to promote a free Africa from polio kind of thing. They sent tons of volunteers and some paid workers out to villages across the continent. Now, Africa is the largest continent on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. Maps
Absolutely.
don't always show that. But Africa is the actual biggest continent on the planet. It's huge. I mean, ridiculous. If I might presidentially make it up, it's huge.
Is it bigger than Texas?
Do what?
Is it bigger than Texas?
No.
Probably like 9 times over. But that's just, I'm pulling a figure out of my head there. I don't know. So anyway, they have declared that the disease, which typically affects children under 5, unfortunately sometimes leading to irreversible paralysis and death, of course, whenever it affects the breathing muscles. It has completely been eradicated. Not completely, though. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. What that basically means is that wild polio, which means that polio you can catch from other people, they have no cases of that. And also 95% of the people in Africa have been vaccinated for polio.
Way to go. So it was a huge vaccination campaign
That's
then.
where he lost.
Huge. Colossal. I mean, ridiculous. People, like I said, they would go out of their way, travel for miles on foot to reach villages that had no access to medical care because of the "we are going to cure polio" kind of thing. Fun fact, there are only 2 countries on this planet as of right now, as of this recording, that have any form of wild polio. That is Afghanistan. That is it. All of the other cases of polio on the planet are all vaccine derived. Now,
so you're telling me Africa just saw a spike in autism?
That's exactly what I was about to get into.
Because if not, then all that I believe is a lie. And I have science.
Wild polio is, of course, polio that is caught naturally in the environment, usually through contact from person to person or through contaminated water. Okay? Now, that compared to vaccine-derived polio, which is a very rare form that mutates from the oral vaccine and then can then spread to other under-immunized communities.
Oral?
So Jonas Salk, of course, famously created the vaccine back in the 50s, I think, 1952 or something around that neighborhood.
Right.
So the oral vaccine was created then in like the 1961, 1962 area. I forget the name of the person that created that. I'm so sorry to who did. Somebody on our feed, please look into that and help us out. However, like I said, sometimes that can mutate and it can really wreak havoc, like MRSA, essentially. It's just like a super polio, especially on a community that's under-immunized, that just haven't gotten to, and it's bad. 25 years ago, thousands of children were all paralyzed because of this disease. Now it's only, like I said, in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Nigeria was the very last African country to completely be declared free after they had more than half of all global cases less than a decade ago.
Jesus, that's crazy. But
right?
Nigeria is also one of the poorest countries in the world, correct?
Well, and so the real issue that they've been running into is that Nigeria is the biggest, that's the epicenter for Boko Haram.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
And there's a whole lot of, not just that, but there's a whole lot of but Muslim religious leaders that claim that these vaccines are American tools that are going to do this or that. And you see the same kind of anti-vax things there that you see here because it's just people that don't trust other people.
That's it.
So the really good news is that Africa has 0 new cases of wild polio.
That's awesome.
Are they microchipped?
Yes.
Not that we know of. We don't know if Bill Gates has been involved, so who could say?
Fuck yeah!
And
That's one of his charitable donations.
There's no rise in autism.
Not that we know of.
Well, thanks for something.
Thanks for something, Africa.
You.
Sorry, Africa Regional Certification Commission, and good work to all the Africans. Thanks to Nelson Mandela for implementing this in the mid-90s.
Getting the ball rolling.
Like, that's just amazing news.
That
People
makes
helping people. That's so great.
That makes me want to bless the rains down in Africa.
Oh,
Yep. It sure does.
gotta do the
Mason.
things
It sure does.
we never.
So, that being said, thanks for nothing, everybody.
Thanks for
Thank
nothing.
you for nothing.
I want you guys to be sure you're following us, actually, not just on our personal pages, but through the T4N podcast Facebook page. Also, you can follow us on Twitch, T4N podcast, and the Thanks for Nothing podcast still on YouTube right now. Coming from Mason, Dustin, and myself. Thanks for nothing, everybody. And Dustin, please provide us with your speck of dust.
Born to a Dutch-American family, Martin Van Buren is the only U.S. president to speak English as a second language.
Aside from Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, how could I forget?
I'll be right back. Hold on one second here.
Thank you, Africa.
Yes.
I
That
just
was so good to read today. Like, yeah, they still have some of the virus-derived one, or the vaccine-derived ones, but still, like, that's insane news.
yeah, I saw it this morning. I'm just like, maybe they don't have a stupid fucking anti-vax campaign, and so people
You'd
take
be
the-
wrong.
Or you know what? It's almost like America is a spoiled first world nation. And I keep saying this about like conspiracy theorists, especially like when it comes to like vaccines, because obviously the anti-vaxxers have the fortune of being born most of them in a vaccinated period. Like, you're vaccinated. That's why you're not dead. That's why you didn't get polio, because you're vaccinated. But now you have the ability to be against vaccines, just like with COVID. Like, certain people, that have these like wild conspiracy theories, right? I'm not wearing a mask. It's like, oh, well, you have the luxury to do so because you're a single person living on your own. You don't have like children, or you're not living with elderly parents, so you have the luxury to believe that, and that's what it is, strictly the luxury. And and it also goes to, I would even say, that philosophy is with being vegan or vegetarian. Anthony Bourdain once said that being vegetarian is a very first world thing. Like, we're wealthy enough and have enough, we're healthy enough and have access to nutrients and vitamins to where we don't have to worry like other people in third world countries or such that have to get what they get, whether that be meat or not. So being a vegan or vegetarian is a very first world luxury. And that's the same with these like anti-vax conspiracy theories and the COVID beliefs. It's like you're a child of privilege, if you will.